Recently, the president of the Federal Reserve of Minneapolis, Neil Kashkari, gave a 30 minutes presentation where he answered Q&As, and I was fortunate enough to be a fly on the wall. Um, I didn't get in this meeting because I was supposed to be part of it. I got into it because I just got lucky and I sat through the meeting. It was very interesting as far as like the things that the banks are aiming for and the things that they think should happen this year. Because Jerome Powell is the head, he's the face, he is the Washington D.C. representation of the Federal Reserve. However, the Federal Reserve has different branches. They have the one in Chicago, they have the one in Minneapolis, and each group oversees different areas of the country. And then they get together, they report the conditions of the markets to Jerome Powell and to everybody else where they make decisions, where they make all of the decisions. This information I did not know as well. But that's how we learned. So we have the one in Boston, they oversee these areas. We have New York. And they each have their own president, which is why when they are making decisions, when the Federal Reserve is making decisions, it's not just Jerome Powell making all of the decisions by himself. We have these ones over here that oversees this, Chicago, so on and so on. So anyways, Neil Kashkari oversees all these different locations, and they oversee just the north upper peninsula of Wisconsin, and also the ones for Chicago oversees the lower peninsula of Wisconsin. And they also see, the upper peninsula of the Chicago, of Illinois, so forth and so on. So the Federal Reserve is quite complex. But I was fortunate enough to sit in a meeting where he was doing a Q&A for the upper peninsula of Wisconsin. It was quite interesting. So what did I learn? Probably nothing. Probably nothing. But anyways, what did I learn? The Federal Reserve is very focused right now, at least according to the meeting and what I was listening to. The Federal Reserve is very focused this year. Their goal is to bring inflation down. They are happy with the way things are going thus far. Their goal is to bring it to 2%. I don't know if that's everybody's goal. Like I just said, each group has their own different goals, and based on the current market that they cover, based on how that market is performing, their attitude changes on what they want to do. But Neil Kashkari, his personal goal for his market is to bring inflation down to 2%. My personal opinion is the next time the Fed meets, they might keep the rate at the same level that it's at, but over time, they are trying to lower it, at least for, the Minneapolis Federal Reserve. That's one of their goals. That's one of the things that they were speaking about that they're trying to do, like ASAP Rocky, like this year. Also, another thing that came up is about cryptocurrency. People were asking him about crypto. What's his view on crypto? How is the market gonna be managed? Do they have any plans for cryptocurrency? Of course, he's not a lawmaker. That's not his job. He's there to make monetary policies. I will say this much. I think cryptocurrency is going to get regulated because a lot of the bankers, bankers make the world go around pretty much. A lot of the bankers are complaining that these financial instruments are being used in the same sense that banks' products are being used. However, they are not facing the same regulatory scrutiny that banks face, which makes a lot of sense. Like people can exchange money, send money, wire money, do transactions, although it all is on the blockchain and can be tracked. It's not being regulated in the same manner that a bank is being regulated, which the banks are not happy about because they are facing competition from this product with unfair rules, which makes sense. Although I do work for a bank, I understand the need for cryptocurrency and why it's important, right? Also, I think what will give cryptocurrency in general its boost or the final hoorah where it actually made it more and more banks now, which we've seen, as the title said, J.P. Morgan Chase is offering tokenizations. Also, BNY Mellon. BNY Mellon is extending their digital capabilities for institutional clients, which is a big move. Like more and more of these big institutions who have trillions of dollars of assets under management are moving into the blockchain, or they're trying to move into providing their clients the ability to get involved in crypto. The big hoorah from what I've learned from these people having these conversations is that for banks in general, cryptocurrency is not there yet. Even tokenization is not there yet. Why? Because security. They are scared of the security with that product. They're not really sure, like the infrastructure for securing transactions aren't there. Like if somebody make a deposit at the bank and then they lose that money, how is the bank going to get that money back for them? There isn't insurance tied yet to cryptocurrency. Like if somebody lose $100,000, is the bank going to be responsible for paying back that $100,000? Because there isn't any FDIC yet for cryptocurrency. The energy consumption of that product, obviously it's using a lot of energy and a lot of power to hold the blockchain up. Like more and more of these big banks are going in the route of tokenizing their deposits, which still have questions about, legality and, insurance and energy consumption and profitability, which, if the banks are involved, you best believe they got to make money somehow. But BNY has rolled out a tokenized deposit service that allows clients to move funds using blockchain infrastructure, making another step by a major global bank into digital assets. They are very specifically using XRP because XRP from the beginning was designed to be used by these big financial institutions. So BNY launched tokenized deposits to allow on-chain transfers while keeping funds with the regulated banking system. They still want control over, the whole thing. They want control over the entire thing, the entire money. But that doesn't mean we can't benefit from it. Also, a very large percentage of XRP is owned by the people who created it. I think the number is like 70+% or some crap like that. So just be careful before just know what you're getting into, because, the banks are not, they were never known to be our friends to begin with. So you got to take it with a grain of salt. The service supports faster 24/7 settlement and programmable transactions for collateral and margin use cases. I want to know how much money, and they're not the only one who's moving in that route as well. Chase is also moving in that route. World's largest custodial bank, BNY, to offer tokenized deposit for institutional investors. So there's definitely, like, if you're not invested, they have 58 trillion. Of course, this is not financial advice, blah, 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 blah. I think cryptocurrency is here to stay. Just like AI, it's here to stay. And for me personally, I don't know exactly where the technology is going, but I am hedging my future with it. Like, what I'm saying? I'm not going to put my entire income into it, but I'm putting at least, good 2-5% into it, because if the banks are getting involved, to me, that's legitimizing the system. And the United States government is getting involved, and the US dollar is getting weaker and weaker. It just makes sense to me. And at some point, maybe I'll just move my entire 401k to it. You don't know. you don't know. And again, this is not financial advice. I'm just a random guy talking on the phone, blah, 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 blah. Don't believe somebody you just see on the internet, blah, blah, all these legal disclaimers. And also, none of these things that I say reflects my employer, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, the Wall Street giant, with nearly 58 trillion in asset under custody, is launching a platform that mirrors client balances on a private blockchain to support faster settlement and liquidity management. The move comes as BNY has been testing blockchain deposits to overhaul its payment settlement process. Last year, the bank announced that it was testing tokenized deposits as part of its efforts to modernize its global payment infrastructure. Tokenized deposits provide us with the opportunity to extend our trusted bank deposits into digital rails. I mean, money is already digital. When is the last time you touched a dollar? When it was the last time you touched a physical dollar and held it in your hand? This is right in line with how things are going. When was the last time you hold a dollar? And even when you make a deposit, like more and more, when you get paid from work, when was the last time you actually they paid you in physical cash? It's all like just numbers, beep boop boop boop, deposited into your bank. You've never seen that money, and when you are spending it, boop 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 boop, beep beep beep, and it's all spent. So more and more, tokenization to me makes sense. Digital deposits make sense. Digital money makes sense. Digital currency just makes sense. Now, how it would look in the future and how the government try to control you and how they control how you spend it and how they track you with it, it's completely different because there are two different sides to it. Enabling clients to operate with greater speed across collateral, margin, and payments within a framework built for scale, resilience, and regulatory alignment, said Carolyn Weinberg, of course it's a Weinberg, BNY Chief Product and Innovation Officer. What is exactly tokenization? It's the process by which real-world assets are converted into blockchain-based tokens. And I guess the realest example you can get from tokenization is having a check. Like somebody writes you a check. It's a form of tokenization. You know what I'm saying? You're not seeing a real amount of money, but you can take that check to the bank and cash it. It's a trust system. Like, hey, I have this piece of paper that says I am entitled to this amount of money. Give me that fiat currency. Give me that flat money. What's the other one? There's another. It's not really a check. They call it a money order. A money order is a form of tokenization. It's the same process, but now it's living on the blockchain. I guess also casinos, the chips. You get that little chip coin thing, whatever. I don't go to the casino much, but the coin thing, you get that and it's worth a certain amount of value. And you can deposit it. Or you can bring it to the cashier and you get a certain amount of money back. That's what tokenization is. Of course, like any new technology, just like AI, there is speculation. There is the possibility of it going bust. There is a lot of things. But I don't think Bitcoin is going anywhere. Not just Bitcoin. I don't think cryptocurrency is going anywhere. I think it's here to stay. And of course, like I said, it's not financial advice, blah, 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 blah. I would just hedge my future on it. Like maybe you only have $10 because they are changing the financial system as we are living right now, as we are looking right now. I am late. It's better late than sorry, I guess. I am late into the cryptocurrency fiesta or madness, which is why I got this book, The Bank 4.0. It talks about all of that. I want to understand cryptocurrency better. I want to understand the blockchain better. I want to continue doing my homework on it and maybe share that knowledge with some people. In general, or to finish off, if the big banks are doing it, we better be following them. If Chase is doing it, BNY Mellon is doing it, it's only a matter of time, before the bigger, bigger and smaller Wall Street people start getting involved. And it might be too late at that point. You know what I'm saying? There are the early movers and there are the middle of the pack and then there are the late movers. At this point, I think I'm edging a little bit closer to the late movers. And, I was involved in Doge, but I thought that was just a meme and it wasn't going to go anywhere. Made some money off of that, but, I could have made more. Of course, we could always make more. I should have reinvested the money I made on Doge on other cryptos and stay on the market. But I kind of see the vision now, and I will definitely and I continue to invest more and more of my capital into different cryptocurrencies. If it doesn't go anywhere, I'm cool with that because I'm not spending my life savings on it. I'm just saving, a few dollars here and there to it. So I'm not a big crypto investor guy. I'm still learning in the process, and I'm just sharing what I know. A $36 billion bank. Look at that. There's so many like news involved around the blockchain technology that it just makes sense. I think it's the wave of the future. State Street, a $36 billion bank, is aiming to change legacy finance using blockchain tech. CEO Ronald O'Hanley said the transformation isn't about Bitcoin, but about re-engineering traditional assets for faster, modern rails. Sure. State Street has launched a new digital asset platform to support tokenized funds, and it's all the same thing, stablecoins. It's all the same keywords. They're all doing the tokenized funds, stablecoins, and offering blockchain-based financial products. And and these are the big banks that are getting involved. We now also have ETFs that you can put your money in. Future of finance. In parallel, the bank is also preparing the future use case that could become central to financial markets, such as settling securities using stablecoins. To the extent to which stablecoins become some kind of regular way of settling securities transactions, and stablecoins, they are different than like Bitcoin. There's a specific definition of what makes something a stablecoin, and Ripple is the company that makes XRP. They are the parent company umbrella that supports it. And they are also a stablecoin. Stability can't exist without accountability. Ripple USD is built with regulatory compliance as a defining feature, which is why a lot of those big corporations are using Ripple and XRP as a default, because from the beginning, these people, they built it specifically for that purpose. With an opportunity for developers, payment providers, exchanges, and others to benefit from the stability and transparency Ripple is uniquely able to provide with the first enterprise-ready stablecoin. I ain't gonna lie to you, I've been putting like $100 every 2 weeks into Ripple. If it does something, cool. If it doesn't, I'll be okay as well. I'm not trying to become rich overnight, but I do understand that in the case that this thing becomes the next big thing, I don't want to miss out anymore than I already have. A stablecoin is a type of digital asset that's designed to maintain a stable value. It can be tied to or backed by a traditional currency, such as the US dollar or euro. Stablecoins are different from the other cryptocurrencies because they combine the price stability of fiat money with the speed, transparency, and global reach of blockchain networks. They are ideal for real-time, cross-border payments and enterprise use. I don't think they are doing anything that's revolutionary, because our money is already digital. We are literally sending Zelles, our paychecks, our payments to buy freaking groceries. We're just tapping our phone. We don't even see the money for real. So it's just moving into a whole different platform.